हुआ entry है बेटा?
All right, all right. Here we are going to take a start of IELTS writing module, the first lecture of writing. As you are aware, like in writing, there are two modules, task 1 and task 2, where in task 1, academic students are going to deal with description of chart to describe any
हुआ
chart.
entry है ना बेटा?
Kindly, Ahmad, you are requested to mute your mic. Yes. While general students would deal with the writing of a letter in task 1. If you talk about task 2, in task 2, academic students and general students both are supposed to write an essay. As far as first task is concerned, that contains and that is equal to 3 bands in IELTS exam, while task 2 is based on, you can consider it like 6 bands scoring part of the writing. All right, coming to the point, here we have some important points in today's discussion, and further in next discussion today, tomorrow's lecture, we will discuss how to write task 2, where you would be supposed to write 250 words minimum, the total word, right? But your target shouldn't be less than 250, rather you should hit 270, right? In 4 or 5 paragraphs. The structure will be discussed for that task too, like how to write an essay. And then in the very next lecture on Wednesday, we would then discuss different kinds of essay, how to recognize and realize the topic, like what the topic is asking me, the essay topic. And then in the next lecture on Thursday, we will discuss task 1. On Friday, we will discuss again task 1. Today and today we are going to have some important points regarding writing. Sorry. Today we have some important points regarding writing, and furthermore, in tomorrow's lecture, then we will discuss the essay, how to write an essay. Okay, so let's take a start here. We have a writing module, which and which the very first point you have to keep it in your mind is your planning, brainstorming. That is called brainstorm. When you take a start of writing, first thing that you are supposed to be careful is planning. Like, let's suppose this is a piece of paper on which you are going to write, right? Now, the first 2 minutes should be spent on what I am supposed to write, what I am going to write. This is, in linguistics, when we were going to do 2500 essay, like 2500 words essay to hit that, there, we were having a brainstorm of around about 30 minutes. And at here, in this essay of 250 words, you are supposed to have first thing is to have brainstorm in IELTS writing essay, right? And also in another part, task 1 as well. As far as task 2 is concerned, here the brainstorming time is to be given, like for first paragraph, what the main points I'm going to mention. Like sometimes students do not who do not like go through the brainstorming, then what problem they face later on after completion of the paragraph, they realize like, oh, we forgot this very sentence. We should have also shared this very statement, right? Therefore, you are supposed to first brainstorm and then take a start after 2 minutes on any topic, right? Now, another thing in writing, the output is going to be observed. The conveying style, the communication style, the starting of a sentence, the closing of a paragraph, the connection of sentences with each other, the punctuation. Now, among these things, the very important thing that the first criteria that is going to be observed in writing is your grammar level. And within grammar, you can see few topics I have mentioned: punctuation, capitalization, subject verb agreement, noun antecedent agreement, and conditionals. Furthermore, if you want me to add more, then uses of articles A and B, there are around about 24, 26 uses, where to use these, where to not. And prepositions, modal verb usage, could, can, should, would, not, ought to. After all these, we cannot use the third form of verb if there is no have. The usage of modal verb in simple words, and degrees of adjective. The most important topics which are going to be included 100% in each paragraph, in each article, right? So, like students, why they make mistakes, why the sentence structure is going to be disturbed in writing. The reason is only this, that they make mistakes in their grammar level, and grammar portion can be covered by just getting command on these few topics. Got it, right? These few topics should be 100% clear. If you want me, I would share the recording lecture even for these grammar topics, as well as my own notes or book. I have written a grammar book, so I would also share that. Next thing, after brainstorming, your grammar should be perfect. If your grammar is fine, now you are supposed to work on how I can make my writing more professional, how I can make a start more impressive, how I can close a paragraph which should indent to the examiner that here I have closed my paragraph and now starting or jumping to the next paragraph. It should be clearly understandable and visible to examiner through your way of expression. This is called beautification and professional person, like the professional kind of writing, right? Beautification of writing. Okay, next thing, the examiner judges your writing and its clarity. Today, again, I'm repeating, these are some important points regarding writing. And in the next lecture, tomorrow, we will discuss like how to write a task 2 and how to write a task 1 furthermore. Okay, now, and clarity means that here you are supposed to create an interest in your writing for an examiner. Like if you wrote the whole page and I asked you, how was your writing paper? And you said that it was fine, I think, and I would get good score, but you don't know like, how was it? 100% you're not sure about it, and later on you don't get good score. The problem and the reason it here is only this, that you were that moment just getting rid of it. If you enjoy something, this is a psychology. If you enjoy something, Ahmad Ahmad, would you like to introduce yourself? Are you already enrolled with me, or sorry, and which page you were? I didn't see you in the documents group or somewhere. Are you my old student, Ahmad Ahmad? Okay, okay. Talk to you later on. I have a format I will share later. All right. Sorry. Okay, okay. Ahmad, I will talk to you later on. The format is having its full lecture, right? What is else? What is different between general and academic? This is a detailed discussion. I have a recording for that. If you want me, I would share directly. All right. Here, okay. Now, the next thing is like when you enjoy, like I'm a speaker at Pakistan level English debate, right? And that moment when we were going to present any debate, English debate at Pakistani stage, Pakistan level, that moment our seniors were asking only one statement. They were keeping only one statement in front of us, and that statement was, if you enjoy your own debate, if you perform in your the actions in a way like you enjoy it, then the others, the participants, the spectators would also enjoy it. Same goes for anything. When you participate, it should be in a way of actions like the speaking style or the writing style. Here the output is going to be observed, IELTS, International English Language Testing System, right? English is going to be observed so far, the output. Now, if you speak or if you write in a way that is creating an interest for the other who is listening or who is reading, this is called your way of creating, this is creating a kind of beautification impression and a perfect, like it would seem a professional writer, the person who would have written so far in a way that it's create an interest for others, right? Okay, next thing, in writing task 1, you would be asked to write 150 words. In task 2, you would be asked to write 250 words. But in task 1, instead of 150, the most easiest part of writing, out of 3, I expect 3, and I want you guys to keep the target of 3 hours. Like the total 9 bands, you'll be aware of it. In writing module, total 9 bands in all the modules. 3 bands for task 1. In task 1, your target shouldn't be less than 3. If you got 2.5, fine, but not fair. Okay, your target should be 3, because the most easiest, whether that is for general or academic, that is latter or the description of chart, the most easiest part. Here, if you know the structure, task 1, like what I am supposed to write so far, if the structure is clear to you and your grammar is fine at here, like punctuation, capitalization, subject verb agreement, the sentence structure, and connections, for the connection of sentences you have used the connectors, right? Moreover, furthermore, in addition, firstly, all such things you have mentioned so far, then and the structure is fine, then indeed 100% surety is there that you can get easily 3 out of 3. Right now, second thing, instead of 150 in task 1, your target shouldn't be less than 170. If you wrote 140 words, you would be eliminated by 1 or 2, 3, 4 score. That would be equal to 0.5 bind, right? more than 250 in task 2. This should be your target. Okay. Next point in writing you are supposed to be careful is do not waste precious time while counting the words in real exam. Just make yourself habitual and like comfortable on the exam sheets within your home. Like wherever you are doing, I was just searching for the sheets. Wherever you are just practicing an IELTS exam, for the IELTS exam, you are supposed to take print out of different IELTS pages, which would be given, the same kind of pages would be given to you in IELTS exam hall, just to practice on those pages from now onwards, whether that is for listening, reading, or writing, right? This is going to make your mind 100% perfect and familiar with the way, and like you will be able to count the words only by looking at those, to those words, right? Okay, next thing is just photocopy of writing sheets and answer sheets that listening, reading. These are going to be the 100% like helpful. Remember, you will be allowed to use second sheet, but try to not write too much. Do not prolong too much. Like instead of 250 words, 270 is fine. But if you wrote 300 words, that is not fine. Why? There would be a chance of many mistakes, right? Therefore, try to write 4 paragraph, 60 in one, introduction, 70, 70, 141 for total, 70, 70 in body 2, body 1 and body 2. And then in conclusion, in essay, write around about 60, 65. Around it would be equal to 260 plus 2, like 260 to 270, right? So this should be your target. Next thing, some words, my favorite point and the most important point, some words and phrases should be remembered to you. I would just share some essays with you guys. Those students who got 7 and 7 plus in writing section, right? Within their practice time period, if you check their essays, how they were going to submit their essays to me, you will be also impressed. By what? By not their grammar level. Oh, the punctuation is fine. Somewhere they also done the punctuation mistake. Somewhere even the spelling mistake, the very minor mistakes are. But the way they have started so far, I directly mentioned that you would get the best. Now, what was the way they started? Those who got the best. And here, some words, some phrases should be remembered to you. What are those words? Like, if you are starting any essay, you can directly start. There are a lot, and by the topic, there are a lot of advantage and disadvantage. And my opinion, we are going to discuss this in the following paragraph. Like such kind of a random way of starting. But if you start in this contemporary era, or within this 21st century, in the modern time period, like the proper starting phrase. This is phrase. Honestly, sorry, this for the first paragraph, if that is advantage paragraph, on the brighter side, if you are discussing advantages, on the brighter side, for the another hand, you can say on the darker side, on the dorsal, on the contrary side. Now these are only initial phrases. Same goes for all other phrases which you should use for some sentences even in the mid of paragraph. This is at the initial position. Initial is going to also impress examiner what this person wants to convey. Your words, the starting words would also influence the same message. But beside those initial words, believe me, when we check students' essays, even in the mock exam or in the real exams, when we do check, when we see like this person has written the starting, and how beautifully this person has started, the grammar is yeah, this is fine. But A and B, Shanawaz and Hassan Junaid. Let me take these two candidates, aspirants, like Shanawaz and Hassan Junaid, right? Let's suppose both are having equal level of grammar. They are fine in grammar, 100%. Now Hassan got 7, Shanawaz got 6.5. The reason at here is now creativity of writing. The reason at here is now expressing style, the communication, the conveying style that is going to impress examiner after the grammar level, right? Okay, now, like what you have written, that is relevant. That is the cohesion and coherence is fine. Like cohesion, coherence means like a paragraph is having one idea, or you have just collected all the ideas and you just share randomly everything in the paragraph, right? This is all such things are very important in writing, and this is indeed like in writing. Today I was having a meeting. We mentioned this thing like in writing in all the modules, even in all the modules, whenever you just choose the any of the new thing, new syllabus, new you can say step, like it here it is EL2. Firstly, EL2, second learning language, English. Secondly, IELTS is a kind of new structure for you. Now, while going for it, three things are important. First is the track. I'm going to share 100% from my side, like this is the track, this is the route, how you are supposed to drive or ride or fly an airplane. This is your like this is your responsibility. Like if I assign you a task, how seriously you are going to do this, or how seriously you are going to answer me in speaking session and the listening session, how seriously you are going to attempt test directly or later on, or just leave it, right? And then first thing, the trick that I'm going to share 100%, and I would just collect the points from here and here. Last day, my student appeared in the speaking session. He was asked the question regarding describe a time when you missed the last appointment. Recently you missed the appointment, and that was very important, right? Now, such kind of questions I collect, and this is the source from my side. Like for speaking, this is the source. Writing, this is the source. This is the way. This is the track. This is your level is lying here. Now, these things are going to be shared. But next is practice. 1 hour 20 minutes for all the modules collectively. 20 20 20. 4 modules, 20 minutes to each module should be given collectively. To each module as a separate, and 1 hour 20 minutes collectively. Now, after that, second step, third is assessment. Proper evaluation should be done so far by me, right? Like if you assign any, if you submit any essay or speaking answer or something like that, you are like, I'm responsible for that, to have proper assessment. Like this person is lying at here right now, how he or she can incline to this. One of my students was of the level 7 and 7.5. I asked her, and she even that moment mind, because she was in the class, and I asked, she was a foreigner, and I said that, dear, if you just work on this thing in speaking, she got 8.5 later on, 8.5, 8.5, overall 8. But that moment she made only one mistake, and I mentioned that this is the mistake, kindly just avoid it. To say the shortest sentences and try to some kind of discussion with, she minded at the moment, but later on she worked on that, she got the reward for it. What I mean to say it by sharing this statement is that sometimes I feel like this student is of this level 6.5 and this 7 level, then I try on 6.5 to improve to 7, and on 7 to improve to 7.5. Like this is my responsibility. Okay, now, but three things you have to keep it in mind: the training, the route, and route should be in your mind. This is the pattern, the structure, how I am supposed. Like even in the meeting, one person said that some foreigners also dropped their IELTS exam. They couldn't pass. I have two students from England right now, even they're fresh students, and one from Ireland. Now, why they are learning, like living or staying in the English environment, why they are going through it, why they need it, the evaluation is important. Like whether, one student, girl student, she was very fluent in English, very fluent. She didn't get a good, she got 5 or 5.5, something like that. The reason it here, she was unaware, like how to answer, how I am supposed to answer. This is very important, the trick. And then the practice, 1 hour 20 minutes from my side, 30 days. If your level is 65%, if I mentioned that your level is 6 or 5.5, then 1 hour 20 minutes on daily basis for 30 days consistency, that is important, that is fine. Next is evaluation. Okay, coming to our point, in task 2, yeah, some words and some phrases should be remembered by you. Within some words and some phrases, you would write in words, you would write at least 15 connectors. Like mostly you would have seen some students commonly in normal situation, they just use so then and but and like a random way, just sharing all the sentences within a single paragraph by this few words, so and then it is awkward, it is unfair. How you should share, you should remember 15 connectors for the purpose to connect the sentences with the previous one, and those are, furthermore, I would like to mention firstly, second, thirdly. Moreover, in addition, additionally, logically, philosophically, different connectors. I have shared many times those devices list with the student, the important one, right? Also called cohesive devices are conjunctive adverbs in English grammar. These 15 should be remembered to make your answers in writing and in speaking. The communication style would be 100% professional if you go for this. Secondly, the words, these were counted in the words, and some phrases, I would share some essays, try to just collect on, just pick the phrases, the starting phrases of each paragraph, how we can make it impressive. the paragraph starting, and also the closing sentence phrase. Like sometimes students stuck where I should close, with which kind of sentence I should close the paragraph. This should be also learned, right? Okay. Next thing is these should be also remembered and learned. Okay. Next thing, in task 2, add personal experience where it is required. In task 2, when you will be asked by the opinion essay, like there are different kinds. In opinion essay, you should mention your opinion. I am of the opinion in the introduction paragraph, right? Yes. So in this, like advantage, disadvantage, you may not. But the problem and solution, you may not. But in the opinion essay, this is the opinion essay. The opinion would be required. We will discuss. We will talk on that. So when the opinion is required, you are supposed to share that. Understand question before you begin to an answer. This is important. This is 100% important. In each module, you are requested and you are supposed to first understand the question, what the question is asking me, and what I am supposed to, and how I can make it more impressive and beautiful. Right? Okay. This question, sometimes students directly start by just looking at single word, and later on they observe like, oh, I got like they say, oh my God, I just neglect. They sometimes neglect the major perception about the question. Therefore, you are requested to first understand the question 100%. Organize your time carefully. Divide your time in tries are in 3 categories. For writing, task 1, 20 minutes. Task 2, 40 minutes. Within those 20 minutes, time should be divided into 3 categories. Planning, what you are going to write, 2 minutes should be given to brainstorm. Second, writing, what you are going to write in task 1, 15 minutes should be given to that. Whether that is later for general student, a description of a chart, 4 paragraph or 3 paragraph within 15 minutes. Each paragraph contains around about 5 minutes. And within 5 minutes, you can write 6 to 7, 8 sentences. Normal paragraph length is 8 sentences. Paragraph length, right? The professional are the normal paragraph. Next, then you should revise your essay or task 1. Why revise? Because sometimes students miss the common punctuation, comma, comma, comma. Like after R connectors, if you use furthermore, in addition, additionally, or any introductory, after all these, you are supposed to use comma. The very basic use of comma after this. And if you use introductory phrase, the starting phrase, when you introduce your sentence with the introduction kind of phrase means 3-4 words, that is the part of a sentence, right? Like for example, in this modern era, in the technological world, right, in the contemporary era, right? Now with such kind of words, when you use this phrase, and here you are supposed to use comma, then to start the sentence. Got it? Next is revising should be done for just realizing the spelling mistake, or just going through like if you have done so far any punctuation mistake or something like that. Okay, write your essays on page 3 and 4, and task 1 on page 1 and 2. This should be always also written at the top, like task 1 they should be written on page 1 and 2, and task 2 should be written on page 3 and 4. Next, that is very important and my favorite point, that is indent each paragraph. And indent means that leave a half line. When you start any paragraph and you're done with that paragraph, now starting the next very paragraph, before starting the next paragraph, in 2 ways you should show, how many? In 2 ways you should show the examiner that, sir or ma'am, I am done at here and jumping to the next paragraph. You should not jump randomly. Indent means to leave half line. Now how to show? In 2 ways. One way, to your structure, to your format. Like let's suppose you completed 1 paragraph here, starting the next very paragraph after this line, you should start, you should not start directly from the beginning of a line. Rather, leave a half line and start it here. This is called indenting paragraph, to indicate examiner that, sir, I'm starting here and closing the previous paragraph. Another thing, you are close the paragraph, the previous one, before starting the next one. The previous one should be closed, should be completed with the closing sentence. What? The closing sentence that should prepare the reader mind, the examiner mind, that I am now jumping to the next paragraph, and that should also indicate a message to examiner that I am done with the previous paragraph. Right? The whole discussion, one idea is also as a whole is shared, And now jumping to the next very paragraph, right? This is like you are showing to your communication and also the structure. Next, you can see in some easy points. I hope these are easy. Clearly and legibly should be written. If you make any mistake, erase clearly like this, not like this in a random way. And writing, these things are important. Use some time at the end to check your correct spelling and grammar. Read as much as you can, because if you read more, your writing would flow like a river, right? You would have many ideas. You would know the proper methodology. Study the sample questions, responses to the IELTS task. Yeah, like how much score would be given if I would write in this very way, right? Okay, so this is overall some important points, important techniques. And right now, I would like to ask you people some questions. If you are going to use everyone, yes, Hassan Junaid, what you would use everyone is or everyone are?
Everyone is, sir.
Okay, yes. And let me ask from one another student. He is not here. Yes, he's not here. All right, Ahmad Ahmad, what do you think? Someone is or someone are? Ahmad Ahmad, someone is or someone are? Yes, Hassan. Hassan Junaid.
Yes, sir.
Someone is or someone are? Yeah,
So
exactly.
someone is.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Yeah. Now, someone has, someone was, like these are subject verb agreement points, right? Beside that, if you use along with, now the next verb should be plural or not. The verb you use along with that, and is, fast is. Now, these few rules of subject verb agreement and the other noun antecedent agreement should be 100% clear to students, right? To all of you, because these are we mostly observe this kind of mistakes within sentence structure. The subject would not agree with the verb, right? Therefore, it should be cleared, and it should be you should be careful regarding this. Okay. Furthermore, in writing, if yeah, let me ask you people. Ahmad, yeah, sorry. Firstly, Hassan Junaid, are you IELTS academic or general?
So I'm going for journal. I'll.
All right, all right. Ahmad Ahmad, are you general or academic?
Sir, I'm also going on journals.
General. Shanawaz, are you general academic?
Journal, sir.
General. All right. Surfaraz, are you general or academic?
Sir, I have to apply for master's, so I think it should be for academic one.
Academic. Academic. All right. And Salma, Razia is, I think these both are academic, if I'm not wrong. Okay. Yes. So in academic, are whether that is general, the task two is similar. We should be
Sir, what is the difference between academic and general one? Like if you have to apply for work visa, you will do a general one.
exactly. Academic one can also give you an opportunity to study as along with study, you can do a part-time work, right? And
Okay, okay.
yeah, work visa is only for work, not for education. Academic is only for education and part-time job. All right. Now, at here in part two is in the writing. It is similar for academic in general, right? And how to write an essay is a very, 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 very important topic. 100%, if I say, then it would be wrong. 200% important topic, right? Because the most important why, in a sense, it is having six bands, and the task one is having three bands. Out of six, if you get five, I highly appreciate the student, right? Three and five, it can be equal to seven, sorry, eight. And if you get two and the task one and five, seven, right? Like this is how you have to just elaborate and just make a proper schedule. How now introduction is having a proper structure, professional body one and body two, three, and conclusion, right? Everything is going to be elaborated and discussed in a very proper way, in a format, and you can say in a formal and professional way, right? Like to not directly start. Another thing, and yeah, task two is similar. Task one is different, where letter structure should be known to you, and beside letter structure, if you are academic, as Faraz mentioned. So you are supposed to, yeah, you are supposed to know the some description vocabulary. Yeah, you discuss both of them, academic in general. Here you go through both of them, but I would then mention this is academic, this is general. But tomorrow lecture, that is the most important lecture in the IELTS all modules, how to write an essay, and day after tomorrow is also important because where you understand the essay for both academic and general. Yeah, and at here, this is description of different charts. Here in description of charts for academic students, you should know at least the vocabulary, right? What words we can use for inclining, what words we can use for declining, what words we can use for the same position, horizontal, stabilize, maintain, right? And how we can then describe the same diagram, any diagram, right? So these few things, IELTS is very easy. IELTS is easy, not tough. Just show you a little bit dedication. And when I feel like someone is showing dedication and sharing his her hard work, then honestly saying, I give them even one-to-one time, right? One-to-one. Even one of my student is just, I don't know. So recently he has scored this course, and now his exam is coming, and I'm sometimes giving one-to-one, like instead of staying busy, full busy. But this is, I really appreciate the student who just ask many questions, or who just write and share his her assignment many times, right? And like who I see that he is serious or she is serious, 100%, and want the best with the best score. Like one of my students from Ireland, her level right now, if I shared her essay or something, you will also get that her level is outstanding. 35, 36 score out of 40 is like the best in listening and reading, and as well as now, in my point of view, our level is 7.5 and 8, and she required 6.5. I think she's moving from Ireland to England or something like that. And I asked her that I expect 8.5, and now she's working for that this much, that sharing essays on daily basis. And then I give some time, a separate time. So this is for all of you. From my side, you'd get a chance, and you'd get a bonus time from my side, a bonus opportunity if you would show the dedication, if you would work on daily basis, right? If you would write something, and before appearance in real exam, one of my friends spent 22 years in America, and a relative one. And then when he came back having a green card, he came back to Pakistan after spending few months at here. He didn't speak English. Later on, when he was going to speak English with some of the people in the society, he told me that right now I am lacking little bit fluency. Now 22 years the person is speaking English, but later on, after few months gap, the kind of lacking of fluency there. The reason why I shared this statement, this matter, that you are supposed, when till appearance, if you have 1 month or less gap, if you have a month or less gap, try to speak only in English. These classes, if we discuss in English, the listening also affect the speaking 100%. It influences the speaking. Speaking gets improved when you listen in English, and then when you apply it, amplify and speak in English. Like when you share also your output, right? So try to speak in English from now onwards for at least 20-25 minutes. I would share the sources, the topics, the questions for speaking section as well. But in speaking and in listening, your target should be 8, right? Then you can easily get 7+ in speaking. And these are, believe me, bonus points. Here in speaking is the easiest part. Some techniques, some tricks, some grammar level little bit, right? If that would be clear and you have worked so far the practice, this is good. If fluency is there, just make it simple. Fluency is there, the structure is known to you, how to answer, how to ask a question to examiner, and with confident and facial good gesture, friendly kind of expression, all such thing, then you can, and grammar is also fine, then you can get indeed the best if there is no mistake, right? And same goes for writing, the output. And reading is, honestly saying, it requires more practice, right? Reading, especially listening. If you get the native accent, then listening is fine. In writing, if the grammar level is fine, the structure is going to give a boost to your score. In speaking, the practice on daily basis with enjoyment and pleasurable situation, it can just, you can say, make you more confident on that. But in the reading, you are supposed to read daily one passage at least. If you are going to appear within a month or less than a month, right? Okay, so this was all about IELTS writing task one. Sorry, the first lecture of writing, and it was just important points. Tomorrow lecture is the most important lecture of among all the modules, among the 4 modules, right? And currently, right now, if you have any one of you have any question, you are pleased to ask. Yes, please.
Yes, sir. Actually, I want to know some basics of writing module. Like there will be 3 essays, right?
No, one essay.
No, only one essay, and we have to attempt only that one, or there will be
Yes,
some
yes, yes, yes,
options.
yes, yes. The essay can be having 3 questions, 2 questions as a discussion. That is called discussion essay. We will discuss that on Wednesday lecture. But essay would be one.